Hi everyone, good morning. Thanks for joining us for our third installment in the Roomvu how-to webinar series. Today we'll be talking about how to create a successful social media advertisement for real estate, and we'll be focusing especially on those mistakes that everyone commonly makes and how to avoid them. So before we jump in, a quick agenda for today. First, we're going to start by talking about advertising at a glance. We're then going to talk about content, branding, landing pages, targeting, fatigue, smart ads, and then as usual, we're going to end with our Q&A. So throughout, if you ever have any questions, please write them in the chat, and then we will answer them all in our Q&A. Great, perfect. If things are going a little too fast for you, or you want to slow down or come back to this at any time, this is recorded and it will be going onto our Instagram and YouTube after this recording is ended, and you can find it any time, so don't be afraid to press pause. And if you would like to be notified of when that happens, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us, and look for notifications. Great. If this is your first time joining us here today for one of our webinars, my name's Gabby and I'm the marketing coordinator here at Roomvu. Roomvu was recently described by Inman News as centered on lead generation and providing our customers with a categorized library of ready-to-share video content on a range of real estate topics, from trends to tips to forecasts and neighborhood profiles. So looking at advertising at a glance and at social media, the two platforms that really stand out are Facebook and Instagram. Especially for real estate, they're kind of in the right demographics for those that are purchasing houses. They're also the most ideal advertising platforms because they have some of the highest engagement and the highest reach. So those two things coupled together make them a really great source for advertising. Another great thing about Facebook and Instagram versus other platforms, or say Google Ads or anything like that, is that they find their way through ad blockers. So you don't necessarily get those ads filtered out, and then your ads are more likely to be seen, which is awesome. However, there is a downside. With 25 million businesses on Instagram and 9 million marketers on Facebook, it's really hard to stand out in that crowd and to differentiate yourself and get attention. And because of that, it's becoming harder and harder to increase your reach and your engagement organically, which just means, by posting things and without paying or anything like that. That's becoming increasingly difficult and challenging. And so it can also seem really inconsistent. You can find that one of your posts has a ton of engagement and a ton of likes, and a lot of people have seen it, and then it seems like some of your other posts no one's ever seen before. And paid advertising is a way to kind of level out that consistency, make sure that your platform is disseminated to a wider audience, and kind of go from there. So when we talk about sponsored content today, what we'll really be focusing on is lead generation. There's different types of sponsored content or paid advertising, which is, you can have one centered around brand engagement, you can have other ones centered around brand awareness, but today we're really going to be focusing on lead generation because that is what you guys are hoping for as real estate agents. And it's also unique because lead generation is by far the trickiest. It's the hardest. And so it presents some unique challenges and is a little bit harder and more complex than other advertising – for brand awareness and brand engagement. In real estate, the top kind of lead generation ads that you normally see are home valuation ads, book an appointment, sign up for a newsletter, or download a buying guide. So those are kind of the things that we mean when we say lead generation ads. And these ads are really popular because they give something to the prospective lead. The first mistake that we're going to talk about is when you don't give anything in return. We've all heard the phrase, there's no such thing as a free lunch, and people know that, and they expect that they are going to get some sort of value and find value in what you're offering. So you have to be offering something. So say with a buying guide, sellers won't find any value in that, but buyers will. And in exchange for that, they'll be willing to offer up some contact information, hopefully. Your content should tell a story with one central theme, and mistakes detract away from what you're trying to say. Some of the most common mistakes that people make are using poor creatives, not using video ads, and not optimizing their ads for mobile view. One of the first mistakes that you could be making and trying to avoid is using poor creatives. Facebook and Instagram are both incredibly visually oriented platforms. And so if the ultimate goal is to attract clients, your best bet is to use high quality content when creating your posts and ads. Your ads need to be engaging, beautifully designed, and eye-catching. They should make someone who's scrolling stop and focus on them. So if you're not doing that, then reevaluate your content. The next mistake that you could be making is not using videos. There's a reason that your visual system activates over 50% of your brain. We're incredibly visual people. And visual storytelling is one of the best ways for people to grasp concepts easily. Videos are also the most popular and engaged with content on social media, and this extends to advertising too, especially those that are happening on Instagram. Video ads also naturally grab viewers' attention as they're scrolling through their news feeds. And they receive about 49% more engagement than a static photo. What's the most surprising is that video ads own a 1.84% click-through rate, which is the highest average among any ad platform, which means that they are the most successful by far. So take advantage of these video advertisements. And if you do, use captions on your videos, since 85% of them are viewed without sound. If you don't have captions, no one will hear what you're trying to say, and your story will go unheard, both literally and figuratively. The last mistake that you can be making is not optimizing for mobile view. There's more than 3 billion people that are using their smartphones and their mobiles for social media viewing. And so if you're not kind of catering to this and you're not creating ads for the small screen, then you're doing it wrong, and you're excluding a really large population and proportion of your audience. So make sure that you do optimize for mobile view so that your content continues to look professional and engaging and it'll get clicked on. Otherwise, it'll just look messy. If you tell a story using professional, high-quality video ads that are optimized for mobile view, you will see results. You have created something that grabs attention, and people won't be able to resist the temptation to click. A common mistake that realtors make is with their branding. For successful marketing, your branding has to tell a story. Otherwise, your audience will perceive it as a meaningless graphic that is doing nothing but detracting from the story that you're trying to tell. It's important to avoid overdoing it with your branding or making it too subtle. If you use too much branding, your story will be competing with it and get lost. This results in an ad either without a story at all, or one that's competing for attention that looks cluttered and unprofessional, both of which won't give you the results that you're looking for, and will be a waste of your advertising budget. On the other hand, using branding that's too subtle removes any brand awareness and recognition that you're also hoping to create through the ad. It also makes your ad seem less legitimate because there's no name attached to it. Think about it like your email. though you're not very likely to click on an email that you don't know who the sender is from. And even more so, you're less likely to click on an email that had no sender at all, if that was an option. And the same goes for Instagram and Facebook ads. If they don't know who you are, they're not going to click on it. To avoid these branding mistakes, you can opt for placement that is in the corner of an ad page and doesn't obstruct from any of the elements that you're trying to tell a story. You can also use minimal colors and design elements so that your branding stands out. Your goal is to hit that Goldilocks effect so that users will pay attention to the story that you're telling and will also take note of who you are. Effective branding will enhance your credibility, showing that you are professional and trustworthy. This allows people to feel confident enough to click on your ad and complete your call to action. Arguably, the most important phase of the lead generation process, and where you're most likely to make mistakes, is the landing page. A landing page is a dedicated web page separate from your website that is created for a specific purpose. For real estate, the purpose is to collect contact information. At this point, you've hooked them. You've gotten them to click on your ad, and they've taken the bait, but you still have to reel them in. And as any good fisherman knows, this is half the battle. If you're reeling people in using a website, your profile, or a blog, then you're doing it wrong, and you've probably already lost them. People are not only visual creatures, but they're also very lazy, or what I like to call efficient. We don't want to have to do any more work than is absolutely necessary. So if I come to a page expecting to find the value of my home, I don't want to, nor will I, search for it. It should be right in front of me. I want this information just given to me. I don't want to have to find it. So don't send me on a wild goose chase. Instead, guide me to your dedicated landing page. Think of your landing page like a dead end, which kind of seems counterintuitive. But it should be that that prospect has nowhere else to go. The only way to go, in this case, would be up, and that would be by completing your call to action. Which leads us to our next mistake, having more than one call to action or not having any at all. Think about what your goal is. Is it to get your potential lead to sign up for a newsletter or your blog, or maybe book a call with you? If your goal is to get their contact information, the only action that is required on their part is to give it to you. In order for them to do that, though, you need a specific call to action that is clear and concise. One we use here at Roomvu is View Home Estimate Report as an example. You can see that there is nothing else on the page that stands out as much as that one-click button, and it's easy to spot. It only takes 2.6 seconds for a user to determine what they should focus on. So if they can't find your call to action by then, you've lost them. Now, if you've gotten to the point where you've gotten them to complete your call to action and they're filling out a lead generation form, you're not out of the woods yet. Like we said earlier, people don't want to have to do more than the bare minimum, especially when it comes to their personal and private information. They're not going to give that up. If you're asking for everything in the kitchen sink, stop it. You're not going to get it. Studies have found that lead conversions drop significantly if you have a landing page with more than 4 fields. So stick with only the information that you absolutely need, and the less, the better. Our suggestion is to have name, email, and phone number. That's it. If you have a clear, concise, and dedicated landing page with as little action required by your potential lead as possible, now you've made it. All that you have to do is follow up. Targeting is one of the most important elements to consider when advertising through social media. If you make a mistake here, you're ensuring that your ads fail before anyone has even had the chance to see them. One mistake to avoid is automatic targeting. While it may be easy and quick, it won't get you the results that you're looking for. The default algorithm on Instagram and Facebook targets people that are already similar to the audience that is already following you. This may be great if you have an audience that's exclusively interested in real estate and following you for that purpose. But chances are, Your audience is your cousins, your family, your friends, and they're following you for other reasons other than just real estate. And some of those might not even be in the same region as you. So by using the default algorithm, it'll start targeting their friends and their followers. And what ends up happening is, before you know it, your cousin's barber that lives on the other side of the country is the one getting your ads. And that's just a bad waste of money. It's basically putting it down the drain. It doesn't matter how awesome your ad creatives are if the right people aren't seeing them. But as realtors, it's important to make sure your targeting isn't discriminatory. You must avoid using targeting that violates the Fair Housing Act. This includes targeting based on zip codes, gender, and age. But not to worry, there's tons of other information that you can use effectively to target, including radius targeting, which is similar to zip codes but just not as accurate. It's a little bit broader in scope, and interest targeting, which is really great if you're trying to sell a specific home with specific features. So say if it's near a golf course, you can target those that have an interest in golf. Your goal is to create targeting that cuts through all that noise, but casts a wide enough net that it reaches the highest number of interested people, as well as those that are most interested. Familiarity breeds contempt, and that's true for advertising as well. Running ads should be a consistent part of your marketing strategy, but running the same ad for months at a time and over a long period just does no one any good, and it results in ad fatigue. Ad fatigue is when your audience has seen your ads so often that they lose interest and stop engaging with them. To avoid this mistake, you must change the ad up, keep it fresh, engaging. However, the trick here is to maintain your marketing strategy and the goal of the ad. Ads take time to work, especially in industries with high customer acquisition costs like real estate. So, pumping out an entirely new ad is also a mistake. Instead, keep it simple and avoid ad fatigue by changing up the ad's creatives. This is the component of the ad that your target audience sees first and pays the most attention to. The frequency at which you change the creative depends on how well the ad is doing. More specifically, you can avoid ad fatigue by switching the creatives when you notice a lower click-through rate. Here at Roomvu, we fight ad fatigue by automatically switching up the creatives on your ads depending on how well the ad is doing. This usually amounts to every few days or so. If you're refreshing your ad creatives often and consistently advertising, then you'll see results. But Instagram and Facebook ads take time and money to work, and a lot of endurance. So don't expect the results to be instant. Our smart ads give you the power to easily create video ads for Facebook and Instagram. This new feature also includes video landing pages with call to action forms already built in, and they're linked to the associated ads to capture personal information from renters, buyers, and sellers. If you're interested in generating leads through advertising, but don't want to commit to something that you think may not hit the mark, then give Roomvu Smart Ads a try. We provide the landing page, the creatives, the branding, and targeted audience and real estate, basically everything that we discussed today, all in one package. To set up a smart ad with Roomvu, all you have to do is click on Leads and Ads on the left-hand side and navigate to the Smart Ads campaign. Choose whether you would like to target home sellers or buyers, and then once you've decided, click the right arrow at the bottom. Select your preferred ad style from the ones provided. Then finally, choose which budget suits your goals best. You can see where and how many users the ad will reach, as well as the duration of the ad. You can also click on Setup manually if you wish to change any of these ad features. Then click Publish and confirm payment, and you're off to the races. So this concludes the informational session of the webinar, and we'll now go on to the live Q&A. So make sure that you enter all your questions in the chat now if you haven't done so, and we look forward to answering them. Thanks. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Q&A session for this webinar. If you are new here, today I have with me Abby, who's one of our product designers here at Roomvu. So if you just want to send any of your questions through the live chat for us to answer, there doesn't seem to be any right now. Maybe we just did amazing job.
Everything so well. Thank you, Gabby.
Oh, you're welcome. But yeah, so yeah, we'll wait a couple more minutes, I guess. See how things are going. In the meantime, also let us know what you would like to see next in our webinar series. We're always looking for suggestions and new ideas. So yeah. Okay, great. So Sam asked the first question, why do I need a landing page? So we went over this a little bit in the webinar. The purpose of a landing page is that it can get really overwhelming if you link someone to your website or your profile or anything like that. And it can actually steer them away from where you want them to go because your website probably has a whole bunch of different like links and stuff in there, and they're gonna have to really search and try and find that information. But if you have a landing page that's dedicated for that one purpose of collecting information, and then it kind of like stays in one silo.
Yeah.
Great, good question. How do I make sure my home buyer sees my ad? Yeah, so great. That has to do with targeting, as well as like general brand awareness and brand engagement. So you want to make sure that you are targeting correctly, which means that you are targeting people within the radius that you've selected, and maybe have some of the interests. So say if you have a specific property that you're looking for a home buyer for, that's near a golf course, maybe you want to try targeting by using people that are interested in golf as one of your kind of parameters. But it can be a little bit difficult because you still want to kind of keep that wide audience and cast that wide net, but make sure that you're kind of eliminating the people that aren't interested, and not violating the Fair Housing Act. Are we able to use landing pages by attaching our own URL? Are we able to pay monthly for one on your website?
Yeah, so you can share your landing pages with your branding and your social media links just by copying the link that we give you, or just by sharing, connecting your social media and sharing through our Roomvu platform. And that just makes it easy for you to share on various platforms with just a click of a button. And are we able to pay monthly for one of the websites? Yes, so on the Pro plan, you get all the lead generation pages done for you, branded to you with your social media links, and that is just $24.99 a month.
Great questions. All right. If any more are coming in, we'll give you, I don't know,
a couple more minutes.
Couple more minutes. Great. All right, well, nothing is coming in. If you still have questions that we didn't answer, or you want to,
Mohammed Dalis asks, does designing landing pages require programming knowledge? So no, you can design your own landing pages, but you will probably have to get someone to develop it for you. So that's why we've kind of created everything for you, from the ads, from Instagram, and then once they click on your link or swipe up, it just lands on one of our landing pages that is, again, branded to you. And we've just done everything for you, so you don't have to do any of the designing work or the development work.
Do you guys do TikTok ads? Yes, I believe we do.
It's in the works. It's in the pipelines.
Great. All right. Flower asks, I paid yearly for the videos and would like to add more apps, but it's not allowing a monthly payment. I would suggest that you try booking a one-on-one with our amazing customer success team. They'll be able to help you out, make sure that everything is kind of covered and working the way that you want, and that we're kind of catering to what you need. And the link for one of those meetings is in the chat as well.
And do the websites link to the landing pages? So the landing page is the website. The ads link to the landing pages. And then from there, your buyer or seller or potential lead can enter their information, and then you will get the leads.
Great. All right. Sweet. Amazing. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. If you have any questions that we didn't cover, please do feel free to make one of those 15-minute booking sessions with our customer success, and they will be happy to answer any questions. You can also shoot us an email or comment on any of these videos, and we will be sure to get back to you. So make sure that you stay tuned for our next webinar in the Roomvu How-To series. And thanks for joining us. Have a good day.
Thank you.